against each other because there's so many eyes on them.
Well, yeah. Let's go into our map bans. James, I will throw it to you for more detail on the map. I know I don't want to cut you off and take away from the great mind and what you have in that brain. After casting the last game, I'm sure you guys are pretty excited for it. So let's go and put that pick and ban up on the screen and see which map we're going to play on. It's Coastline, our decider. I know you're laughing. You know what? I'm going to throw it to you. As I said, James, please, clue us in.
Sorry. I was literally just looking at my notes and thinking like, oh, at least what are we not going to see? And I was like, oh, both of these teams banned the heck out of Coastline. So, look, I think it's safe to say we won't see Coastline. And then I was like, I guess I'll have to look at something else in my notes. And I mean, there you go, right? They let it through. Vitality obviously played this and got smacked about against BDS 7-1. And that's the most recent time we've seen this team play it. And then previously for for Virtus.pro, I'm looking back. And I've got almost nothing. There was a 7-2 in the Russian Major League against a team called Crow Crowd. But overall, this is pretty unexplored territory. And I'm hoping that, especially on the Vitality side, that they've pulled things together a little bit and coming in a lot more prepared than they were against BDS.
Yeah, keep in mind, it's Vitality that had that last ban. They could either go for Oregon or for Coastline. So they're the ones that chose it, and maybe there's something hidden in the back there. Gio, what do you expect going into this?
Well, I would love to expect Virtus.pro to live up to their name of being that really frag-heavy team that everyone's terrified of, and you just have to look at them and they'll gun you down. And I'm hoping that they continue on with this role swap between Rask and Pacha because it worked a lot better for them in Chaos. So I'm hoping to see a lot of that.
So what do you predict score-wise?
Okay, I mean, Vitality, I gotta say Vitality are gonna win. As much as it pains me, as much as it hurts, Vitality have shown so much more improvement. So I'm gonna say 7-3.
Okay, James, quick.
Impossible to guess, but since Gio and Vitality, I'm gonna go Virtus.pro, and I'm gonna say they'll repeat what they did against Crow Crowd 7-2.
What do people think about this? Let's bring them up on the screen. You can vote on this at R6 Esports EU. Your pick ban. Tie. There it is. 70% for Vitality, and you're going for 25 to Virtus.pro. 5% on a draw. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to kick off Coastline. Who would have thought that this would be the map between Vitality and Virtus.pro? We definitely did. James definitely did not. Let's go into the game.
Well, who thought that we were going to be going to Coastline, Jess? Who did you think it was going to be happening, or?
I always hope, because I love Coastline, and since we've seen Tempra do quite well on Coastline recently, they've shown that you don't have to play Coastline the same way we've seen it played for the past 3 years. So I want to see a little bit of that. I mean, James pointed it out. They've banned it so often against all of their other opponents. The fact that they're taking each other to it means that they're probably all on a bit of a new ground, fresh ground. So I want to see them break something new out.
The thing is, we know Virtus.pro, especially from the EOC, to be pretty good fraggers, so maybe a map like Coastline will be suiting them against a somewhat more strategical Vitality. But let's hop right into that map and see who is going to be the superior team right here, or if indeed we will be ending up in a draw for the little amount of people that thought that was going to be the case.
Exactly, and if you're not familiar with Coastline, ladies and gentlemen, it's one of those maps that has one of those center courtyards. There's not a lot of maps that feature something quite like that. Of course, border taken out of the map rotation. You could kind of call waiting room that center area, but of course with Coastline, there's a lot the attackers can do, and that's why we tend to call it or reference it as an attacker siding map. So Vitality will start on the attack, and well, if they can pull things together here, they might do quite well, but I think Virtus.pro will, given their aggressiveness, and we've seen this before, Hap, surely they're just going to run out, do whatever they can. I mean, are we going to see a Nomad ban so that it allows them to do this?
I think Montaigne. I mean, Montaigne was a really impactful operator for Vitality. I think we can put it down like that. So it would be logical. No, actually, Capital were both wrong. All right.
They always ban Capital. Right, it's like a huge comfort ban of pretty much all of the Russian teams. It's like if you can get rid of Capital, you feel better for some reason.
Well, that means Vitality has the opportunity to leave their multi open, something that really worked for them the last time around. Let's see if that indeed will be played here again, as the Ying is to be removed. Virtus.pro not going to be able to use that one anymore, but neither will Vitality. And I hear you gasp, and I think I know why.
I think Coastline's a great map to use Ying on, and Oh, I love that. That's a mute ban. Okay, the reason that that is so important is that Coastline is a map where droning out a lot of the defenders, especially if they're roaming or sectioning parts of the map, is really important. And I remember, you know, way back when, if you ban mute against Team Empire, another Russian team, it used to be really effective against them as well. So I think that's the thought process behind that ban.
All right, and as the Valkyrie is the last one to be removed, at least some of the information will no longer be siphoning into the defense side of things, making it a bit harder to go for these jump outs, that aggressive as VP might want to be. As Goga is seeming to be hesitating whether to pick Yana or Lion, so we might see 6 pick on that same operator. Let's go over to that Lion, and as the mute, no, actually a Dokkaebi. The mute, of course, also aids against that Dokkaebi. So that being banned makes the Dokkaebi a bit more effective.
It's good to point out what Gio also said was that Rask had a couple of his roles shift around. And the reason that's important to point out is because Rask had a really bad showing on the Jaeger, for example, for the first few playdays. So I think they just turned around and went, look, you're not showing up, Rask. We got to put someone else on your role, buddy. That's just how it is. And, well, that's why you got Shockwave rocking the Jaeger this time.
Shockwave, of course, we know that he can make a huge impact there. As, did he just destroy his own Evil Eye? I don't think he did, but I don't see it anymore right there in VIP.
No, it's still there. I don't think
in
you
there.
can.
All right.
Yeah, it's right snuck in deep. And Penthouse first with huge openings. I see a lot of potential here.
There's definitely a lot of potential. Indeed, like, only thing I'm checking right now, there's no echoes unlike the Virtus.pro, but you still, of course, have the LMG on the Elda, so pretty effective at holding angles, but I think it's mostly going to be used to at least make the attack feel a bit uncomfortable as they want to go for their executes or attacks. As Pasha right here, a little bit of a pre-fire to go through, hoping to scare off some of the attackers. That's his only job right now, just trying to scare them, make sure that they will have to deal with the potential of a win out anytime soon.
Well, it looks like Pasha running around causing a lot of issues downstairs isn't really in the minds of Vitality at the moment. They're more concerned with taking Hookah and across. And look at this nice little shield placement from Shockwave. This is what they want to displace, but he's got ADSs by his side as well. So they'll drone that out, but that's going to be a big issue for them because they've invested a lot of reinforcements and utility over there. So I hope they cook that ADS and then get rid of it. But look at all those lines aside as well. Every other defender could come swinging over and assist them. So I hope there's some roof presence here from Vitality to stop all of those rotates from happening.
A lot of damage being done right here by Shockwave as Bibu tries to waste the ADS but realizes there might be a second one. As the first one that was actually located in Hookah has been burned out, but it's still going to be one available on the top of Cool Vibes there. As Pasha gets the entry now, we'll be taking down Rise. That is going to be giving the entry towards Virtus.pro, something they desperately need. They need to start off strong right here, as Rask is going to receive a grenade from below. It's Shockwave right now to get the audible cue that someone is at the bottom of Cool Vibes, just destroying his barbed wire, but don't go off now. Gets it down onto Bibu. That's finally the kill secured, one that he started the gunfight with a bit earlier on. Tries to go even more aggressive right there, but Fabian will be winning that, and suddenly, well, it's a double kill actually from Fabian. Not quite sure how that happened. Hungry managing to pick up one as well. MVP suddenly on the back foot.
All of a sudden, this really switched around very quickly. It's almost as if multiple of the defenders just peeked right into those ACOGs specifically. I believe Fabian was rocking that as well. So he's still got one grenade in his pocket. He's got a lot of effectiveness going forward, and with 45 seconds left on the clock, there's a lot Vitality can do, even to the point where WTG is using his smoke babes. He's scared. He knows he's down on numbers, and, well, they're going to start manipulating the site. They'll open up the long angle from VIP window all the way over into theater door. This is a great angle, especially if you have an ACOG, but we've seen WTG hit massive shots with SMG, so it wouldn't surprise me if he wanted to counter-peek this, but 20 seconds left, Hap. They don't have a lot of time to execute.
Definitely do not have a lot of time, especially with that C4 picking up. Fabian right there, usually played WTG now, getting a lot of damage done into one of the players, but not quite the kill. The gas canister will be tossed in, but will be doing not a single point of damage towards Goga. We'll be able to get the first one in, potentially. Goga goes down due to that actual gas canister, as he wants to go for the finish. It's the second down to come down. WTG knows this. Is going to be going for it, checking if there's any Claymore around, as he finishes the kill with the gas canister just fit a BM. It's going to be the plant and the fuse to come down right here. Is Virtus.pro with the first one right onto Penthouse, a map, actual site that we do not see that often. But WTG managed to get that clutch down.
It's almost like I spoke it into existence. Like I said, you know, we've seen WTG hit some nutty SMG-11 shots, and then he goes, oh yeah, let me just prove that for you, Jess. No problems. I'll just put something on display for you here. 2 nice shots with really good recoil control through VIP was brilliant. Salvaged the round in what looked like a Vitality round in the end. So really well done by the support player, especially to play, I guess, quite passive. He did stay back behind his shield. His go-go shield wasn't destroyed, and he used that angle for the smoke babe, which unfortunately missed, but he was under a lot of pressure. So calm, collected, cool. That's what we like to see from anchors like that.
Definitely, Goga didn't want to stay in the same position that he was before, as of course that will be a very knowledgeable position. It's a default position. Everybody would expect you to be there. So he needed to move out, but then the actual smoke canisters got him in the process together with a quick burst of WTG, dealing just enough damage to make sure the smoke did the rest. And all he had to do afterwards is just find the last member that was about on 2-3 shots worth of HP. And get some G11 that will go quick due to the high fire rate.
Yeah, that's what makes the SMG. I'm a huge SMG player myself, so I love to see some good recoil control, some good utilization of it. Right, exactly. So, of course, this time we'll see a Pulse on the board, and the reason I like Pulse on Coastline specifically is it's a very used operator on this map. I mean, you'll see them below trying to feed intel, use C4s, assist with their teammates where they can on where the entry is actually happening, because I mean with Coastline it's you're outside and then suddenly you're in the site, so you can get a lot of intel from the scanner quite easily by just standing underneath.
And definitely, basically every single site is accessible from the outside. Actually, every single site is accessible from the outside. There's a direct window you can hop into from a balcony or on the ground floor, meaning that it's quite easy to get yourself some presence on that site. So the Pulse was a welcomed operator, giving in that extra information. And well, now the Valkyrie is banned. You need to have something to get yourself some extra information. And talking about that, there's a drone right there, just spotting him out, and the pre-fire is going to be coming through from the top. And that is the Pulse taken care of by the information itself. Beautiful drone from Fabian, was not spotted out whatsoever by Pasha, and does the entry, goes to Vitality.
That was so good. I mean, Fabian took his time to work out, all right, he's right in the corner, I can wallbang this really well, I'm on the roof, I'm in a key position, and, well, like you said, a great drone, but of course they've wasted a little bit of time on this. They haven't got as much control as they wanted, and the Yana clone will go zooming on through by Goga. He's trying to collect a little bit of information, but good, really good droning from Vitality thus far. Pre-placed drones and entry drones have been quite good, and you'll see Russ get spotted out, and we spoke about him changing his role. Now, all of a sudden, he's on the Jaeger? I don't know what's going on.
We're playing musical chairs today, Jess. Did no one tell you? Did no one give you the memo?
No, I didn't get the memo. You know, the script usually lets me know in advance about what's going on, but
it is in
I
the
didn't
script.
get that.
Check page 27, Jess.
Oh, I knew it. Yeah, no, my bad.
Ooh, that's a good information coming down there. It's the Yana, don't worry. I wasn't really saying it's a Gemini replicator. He's just going to chase it. Actually letting it run out. So the mission not choosing to go for the shot, which in my opinion is kind of a waste, because that just makes the cooldown like 5 times longer before it can be used again, because right now it's basically instantly allowed by Goga to be redeployed. As you can see, it's already active again. So I would always say shoot rather than let it live. He might have been afraid for someone to actually come right behind it, though. I'm not sure, but he definitely got a jump scare out as well, just like you when that Gemini just walked in like that.
Well, another Gemini will come soaring through Sunrise entrance, and Shockwave will dispatch of that, but he's also dispatching of a lot of smoke babes, and it's a little bit too early to be using them in that fashion, and you can see he's going to go down as a result. The Havanas are out in a little bit of a sideways funky fashion. They should be able to vault through, but a good shot from Gogo onto Emission's head will mean they've got the entry they need. He's got the diffuser in hand as well, so he could go for a behind B-bomb plant. The cover's great. They'll shut down the person trying to stop the diffuse, and now it's all up to Rask. We spoke about that role change, and now there's a lot of crossfires, of course. That means he's going to go down in mere seconds, and Hungary will finish that off after a really good round from Vitality, kicked off by Fabian.
I think what's important to say, even though it's 1-1 right now, it was actually Vitality that was in the last round as well in like complete control, even though they didn't get the entry frag down, but they still managed to get onto the side, go for a plant. It's just the after plant they did not manage to stick due to an incredible play from WTG. And I think it shows that right now Vitality is actually in quite a good spot with the current attacks. They're not using the Monty, something we said was very effective for them the last time around. They're actually all using their frag-heavy operators, or at least support. So I'm kind of happy to not see Monty for a change, and also see Vitality being able to win some attacking rounds right here. As the Yana gets swapped out for a Lion, that might be a bit problematic for Virtus.pro, especially with how we know the Romans like to run around.
Another sixth pick there that we should probably talk about is onto the Kaid, and the reason I point that out, and I've been saying this for weeks, I feel like a broken record at this point, Hap. Every time Coastline pops up, Thatcher's not banned, but then no one plays the Thatcher. I cannot understand this logic, especially when it comes to Blue Bar. That Blue Bar entrance wall needs to get open. That's where most of the default plants happen onto B-Bomb. And of course, if you chuck a Kaid Claw there and people can't dispatch of it, I mean, you're going to waste a lot of time, and that's where they entered last time. So I think this is a great adaptation by WTG to just bring that Electric Claw in and stop those Hibana charges.
Indeed, could be a very good addition right here from WTG. Just have to wait to see how it plays out. Of course, it will be no smoke. That will be in the book right here for Virtus.pro. See how effective he will be with the AUG that he's running, not the TCSG. Of course, TCSG has received a small nerf ever since well, the last season of Pro League. People were a big nerf, and let's just make it a small big nerf, you know? Like, it's not being played as much anymore. The damage is significantly less right now, turned from a basically guaranteed 1 or 2 shot into a 3 to 4 shot weapon. It's not really something you would like to have, especially not with the fire rate and the magazine size. AUG, therefore, much better, much more reliable. And thus you see WTG opting to go for that one as Rask here, just running around. This is something I said before. The roamers really like to be mobile from Virtus.pro. They like to run around. They go from room to room. And a line on the likes of Vitality could really be helpful in trying to clear these players out. As Fabian opens up the hatch, it seems like they're aware of the fact that he is in security. As right now, it's going to be the office to be opened up as well. And you see Hungry as well, like joining Fabian there on top. So it seems like they want to go for a collapse onto Rask anytime soon right now. It's going to be the E1D to come out. Should definitely prompt a push to come down soon, or at least some ground to be aggressively taken by the likes of Vitality. You don't just want to scan and do nothing with it. But so far, they haven't set foot into office yet, as they probably know Rask is in there.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a funny one. You hate to see the E1Ds sort of used in that way to sort of waste it. And you do expect this kind of peak, and that's a great peak there. He'll get 1, he'll get 2, and finally gets traded out as he gets detected. It's Rise who has to jump over Aqua Balcony to make that happen. But Rask played that really well, passive aggressiveness, not giving up that position too early. And now there's only a minute left on the clock. 2 good frags there on 2 of the fraggers. 3 of the Vitality players left to try and salvage this round. And I bet you there's an Electric Claw on the Sunrise wall as well. So there's even more they've got to go up against.
Yeah, definitely looks like they're going to be going for a blue take then, at least, as all the members of Vitality are around here. And something that is also a repeating factor is the fact that actually the time management of Vitality is not too strong. They always seem to be coming in for the last 20 seconds for a final execute, and you know how easily that can be dislodged if only the diffuser would be taken down. As right now we're counting down from 25. It's going to be a 2 and 4 situation. Rise now will be recovering that diffuser. Fabian is ready for, Hungry is ready for support on that window, and it seems like they're just going to be running in right here, but he's all in lonesome now. It's going to be the headshot from Rise to start things off. The default plant is secure, so that means he can go for it behind the bar right now, and as the Maestro is dead, that's the only form of denial they have, as Pasha right here will be going for a pre-fire just in time, right before he gets off the defuse. It's going to be Rise to fall and Virtus.pro to pick up a round, and this will be the actual first round where Virtus.pro was completely in control throughout the match.
Well, looks like round 4 means that VP have things in their hands. We spoke about Coastline being a little bit more attacker-sided, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit more coordination from Vitality. Of course, there was initial picks, and it was a minute 30, I believe, where suddenly they decided they were going to take office. And I don't know if it was because Fabian took too long to get the vertical control above, and that's what they wanted for their push rather than just forcing their way in through double door of office, or whether or not there was a miscommunication, misdrone. But I think leaving Rask alive alone in there when you have 3 attackers in close proximity to him was the wrong decision.
Why wasn't it droned? First of all, like, you've been dancing around him for about a minute. Everybody seems to be aware of the fact that he's in there, but yet not a single drone is being pushed in, and it allows Rask to peek like you can currently see, catch these two off guard as they would expect him to come out of security. And the EU1D just a bit too late right there to be preemptive on that, because like he activated it at the moment he got peeked, right? So it's like it allows him to move through. If he would have been able to do that like 2-3 seconds earlier, that whole push could not have happened on the likes of Rask, and that would have been actually maybe the round for Vitality. If they might have been able to clear him up cleanly, like that was the thing. If they cleaned him up cleanly, then they wouldn't have been in as much trouble as they were.
Well, we're going to point out the Kaid again, and the reason we're going to point it out is because Vitality, they don't want the Thatcher. They think they don't need it, and that's okay.
What's a
because
Thatcher,
this time,
Jess?
I don't even know. I think he's got this purple ball thing, and it kind of explodes certain things behind the walls that are very integral for the Habana. But I mean, who knows what I'm talking about? Let's be honest. It's probably another band operator we don't even know about. But of course, that means that they'll be able to, hopefully the electric claws are on quad wall, that's behind Cocktail in billiards. So if they've got that electric claw, then of course there's no opportunity for Hungry to open up the line of sight from the roof. So that could be really detrimental, and you could have, you know, the likes of Shockwave sitting in the corner waiting for that plant. And you said before, Vitality are taking so long to get to the execute, that could be exactly what they need.
That could definitely be exactly what they need. Just stall it out a bit longer right here as the Electric Claw will be basically denying anything to be opened up as Rask comes in for a huge flank right here, but wasn't able to get Bibu down off the board. And the opportunity to let the numbers advantage go into the favor of VP. But instead decided to go for the kill confirm on Rise instead of going for the second one in the form of Bibu, who then, in his turn, managed to get the kill on to Rask as they came in. So we are right now with the numbers advantage here for Vitality. They do need it because they do need to get their rounds in. So far not using the Monty yet, something we basically called them out for last Playday, as their Monty play was strong and present. However, this time you're going a bit more with the information game with Goga on the actual Yana, which I kind of like, especially the way Goga plays it, just running into sight, giving people heart attacks. Always the right way to do it.
Well, a grenade comes soaring through to try and deal with that electric claw, but it will miss, and that's great. But WTG did pocket another electric claw. Surely he throws it out, and yes, he will. That's going to stop Hungry. Beautiful timed throw. And Hungry, if you didn't notice before, had droned the C4 player below, but ooh, a bit of mistiming there. Unless someone shot that off.
It was shot off by people.
There you go. That was brilliant counter to that. And they're aware of the C4 below, so they're not going to be standing in VIP just yet, but a grenade will soar through the drone hole. It won't pick up WTG because there's an ADS there, so safe for now, but smokes will start to rain, and they're leaving it to the end of the round, but Fabian will pick up a mission, and oh, it's a 4v2. This is going to be extra heavy for VP. He's got a C4 in hand, but he decides the peak is the way to go, and yes, it is. He'll get 2, just like Rask in the round before, and now, somehow, it's all up to Fabian. He'll need to pocket both of these kills in about 15 seconds. The smoke will cloud that player behind the bar, and, well, good crossfire there from the VP players. It's almost as if it doesn't matter which VP player you put on that anchor role, they know exactly how to clutch it up.
Definitely, and this is kind of the issue, right? Vitality seem to be so in charge of the round. They managed to bring it back to a 2-4 situation, and all they do is just, they swing out, and they pre-fire, and they manage to get 2 kills out of it, bring it back to equal grounds, and from there on forward, you know, Virtus.pro keeps on getting the kills in, and that seems to be an issue on the likes of Vitality. They need to make sure that doesn't happen. They need to have someone ready for it, ready to respond if someone, well, swings out like that, whether that be onto the main window, just someone repelling up there so you can instantly punish that, or just, I don't know, just someone maybe holding the angle as you want to go for the default plant. But it was definitely not the right play that Vitality played it there, and Virtus.pro, their aggression is really paying off so far.
Attackers need to locate and
as they managed to get 3 rounds onto the defense yet. And there's still 2 more to be played. So we're now going back to the penthouse, the site where WTG managed to end the first round with a 1-2 clutch, which was quite huge for the likes of Virtus.pro.
A lot of people are probably wondering why is Vitality losing these attack rounds? I mean, they look so promising in the start and the mid round, and then when it gets to late round execute, what's going wrong? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot be stretching out, elongating your mid round because you're just going to take too long to get to the execute. And by the time you get to site, you've got to deal with smokes, which are plant denial. You've got to deal with working out where the anchors are even playing on site if you're not aware of those locations. And for Vitality, they're leaving it to the last 20 seconds. So that's what's really going wrong here. Time management for Vitality. They need to speed things up. And, well, this is the round for them to prove that they've worked out what's going wrong so far.
Definitely true. Vitality need to find out what's going wrong, and they need to get on it quickly. As you can all see the scoreline right now. It's 1-3 for Virtus.pro on this map, where we would expect the attackers to be able to get some extra rounds in. And if they keep on managing to, well, get in trouble with time, it might just as well be VP that is going to be able to snoop off some extra rounds right here, even though they are in a big disadvantage when the round starts, due to their aggression late round when Vitality least expect it. And they should bring it back time and time again. So right now, it is... well, Vitality, 1 minute in, just a little bit of control right here into luggage. People in the back. Rask still behind that bar. They're trying to deal with him first. There's drones available, but Shockwave is there to, well, assist as well. Play on contact as Bibu is now getting close. There'll be a pre-fire coming in. The grenade is going to get cooked, but he is going to get pre-fired just a small bit. That kill is going to be coming in. Rask survives that one, but not the second. And as Hungry and Rise will be clicking their fingers, it's only a 2-on-4 situation yet again in the favor of Vitality. Is VP going to be able to do it again or not? That's the question.
Well, they have what we call good time management. This time they've done it. They've brought the number count down to a 4v2, and that's very favorable for Vitality. And they have over a minute left in siege time. That is huge. So they can take a little bit of time, drone out where the remaining defenders are. They should probably know where WTG is given the previous round in his position. He's actually gone down to lobby though. So whether or not he has any impact here, or whether he's playing too hyper aggressive, yes he is. Someone had a drone somewhere, and it's all up to a mission who unfortunately is going to have to scope everyone with the TCSG. And we said before, that's been nerfed just a small big bit.
And definitely a small big bit of a nerf to come in. And I like how Goga actually baited him with the repel sound and then instantly went off to be able to peek him, managing to turn it into a 4-on-1, and that should be unlosable to the likes of Vitality, who have 35 seconds left. The repel in is going to be coming through, still has a C4 in hand, managed to get the first one onto Fabian. That's a down, second one to come in as well. C4 now being tossed in long, will be able to hit in time. No, actually get sniped. I don't know where it landed, but it might be Hungry that took it out. And this right now is in a 1-on-2 situation. He will be moving through. He will have to move through. But so far, I believe the last 2 members already went to the outside. No, it's stuck in the wall. That's unfortunate. A living drone in the form of Fabian is still aware and alive, able to give out some call-outs. As he is going for the plan, that is going to be coming through as well. Not going to be able to get the shots down onto a mission yet. But it is going to be the teammate on Vitality of Hungry that will be sweeping in to get that kill from the hatch and make sure that this round is secured.
Good post-plan positions from Vitality as well. You can tell by their setup and the way that they phase themselves on attack that they really want to prioritize the objective, which is fine. That's all well and good. But when you're running out of time, that doesn't work well. So it's good to see that almost as if we spoke it into existence, we wanted them to be faster. They did it. They did it really well. And that's why they had so much time to get the plan off. I would argue in their late round, they still were a little bit slow, but that shows that Vitality is learning from their mistakes very quickly.
Vitality indeed learning right here, managing to basically, well, snap their fingers, managing to get 2-3 kills out of it and instantly take that advantage, even though they lost the first initial gunfight. So right now going to the kitchen. Seeing that mirror coming out from the likes of Shockwave. There is no ability to look through an eventual smoke execute if Vitality would opt to go for that one. They won't, of course, as there is no smokes on the board, but knowing that Vitality love to play a bit of multi, I wouldn't have been surprised if for this last round, knowing it could be kitchen, a multi would be brought, you know, for just a quick smoke, reverse shield plant, nothing they could have done right there.
Well, we finally see the mirror in play. It wasn't banned because, well, Mute and Valkyrie were banned instead, and I love this. It's a double mirror setup, 2 ADSs. It's almost picture perfect, split down the middle of theater there, and whoever plays those mirrors will do quite well. I'm wondering whether WTG's vertical holes there, if that's just for them to be able to cover lobby as well, or whether or not that's, okay, that's going to be in front of the mirror. That makes a lot more sense. I was hoping they weren't opening up underneath the mirror. That would be a very detrimental decision, but of course, the vertical holes is very good. And the reason those vertical holes would be there, ladies and gentlemen, one of the speculations I can make is that if someone runs up and plants, but it's a rush into service half. I've missed it. It's going to be an in, but look, there's going to be an Eller in place to stop it. Good double shot, double kill there. That's going to be exactly what they need to stave off this rush. It's all up to Fabian and a mission now. Hap, can he do it? 2 down. I'm not sure about this. There's barely been a minute elapsed off the clock. They know exactly where he is.
He's going to be tossing in 2 of these frag grenades right here to potentially go for a pickup. But as soon as he does that, it might just as well come into an end. There's a mission peeking in, but he scopes it. And Fabian will be able to pick up the round because of that. As it was a very quick one right here. As I said, they could have just gone for a smoke plan execute. They didn't bring smoke, so they had to do something else. Well, the next thing on the line is to go for a quick rush through that kitchen service entrance door. And that's exactly what happened right there. Just ran through, managed to get the kills in. For a moment, it seemed like it would be going the other way around, but Fabian in the end, reigning supreme as the God Emperor himself. And with that 3-3, right now the scoreline, Vitality, even though they had a rough start, are going to be able to bring it back at least a bit as they're now going over to that defense.
I mean, I'm there trying to give away the strat and why they're setting up. And whilst I'm talking about all of this, they just decide, you know, a rush strat into service entrance is the play. And I don't disagree. Of course, people were still setting up. So that's a good way to take them off guard. They were still making rotates. People were still placing some of their utilities. So a good read into the situation and a very dominant one into the first round of the switch. So that was a good play, at least a good read of it, I thought. It just got taken a little bit of advantage of there. And as we go into that half now, I think VP will be hoping they can repeat a couple of those dominant rounds on defense, or dominant in their gun skill at least, not in number count, unfortunately, on attack. And we'll see the Yana picked up again. I mean, we see Yana a lot on Coastline. I'm not sure what it is about Coastline that really promotes a Yana play, but I mean, paired with other operators, I think she could be good, but on her own, she hasn't seen too much benefit.
Now, that's the thing, right? If you just rush in the Gemini, it gets shut down and that's it. You get the information, but hey, I think it's more useful if you rush in the Gemini, but have someone go right behind it to, well, use it basically as a refrag kind of situation, if you know what I mean. I think that's where the true strength lies, but we haven't seen that much yet from either of these teams. Of course, it's Virtus.pro that just starts out on the attack, so you might see that being utilized here. Let Rask run in with the Gemini and then instantly have someone follow up on it as Fabian, aware of the fact that a Virtus.pro player is looking to be entering right here. And here you see it. The Gemini is going to be moving in. WTG is ready on a refrag. Now they know where he is. They're instantly trying to take a position right here. Is Bibu going a bit more aggressive as well? Could be coming in quite huge right here for his teammate Fabian, who is receiving some pressure. Especially if they start moving through into security, which a drone just now did, and Pasha is following. So Fabian will have to move soon. He's going to be seen at least for now. WTG manages to pick up the kill into Bibu. And with that, it's Virtus.pro to start off very strong on this first attack of theirs.
This is almost exactly the opposite of what Vitality have been doing on their attacks, and VP's turned around and go, we'll show you what time management looks like. We're just going to zoom in. Look at this. There's over half the round left, and they've been able to get it down to a 5v2. Hungary still has lobby control, but Rask will shut down Goga, and it's all up to Hungary. SMG, less than 10 HP, and, well, Hungary's quite a good player, so if he wanted to put together a clutch, he could. He knows where a couple of them are, but the pre-fires will give away his position. Diffuser's down, and he has a lot of work ahead of him. He needs to pretty much headshot 4 players in a row now. He's not even going to be able to capitalize on one, and, well, wow. You want to talk about time management, Hap? That is the round to go back on, and that's what every team should model their attacks off.
You can look like how efficient was this and scale it on a rate from 1 to 10. And you probably would be coming down on like a 9.9 or something. Like there's just small bits that you could improve on that execute right there, and the likes of Vitality. They constantly had the control right there. They were present where they needed to be present. As soon as they had side control, instantly planned to go down to make sure there's only 45 seconds left on the clock for the defense to try and do something back. And right there for this pro show that they know too how to play this on attack, and well, that definitely will put a scare in on Vitality's side if it comes down that aggressively so fast.
Exactly. Well, this has been a little bit of a back and forth since we've switched sides, so at least that one round will go to VP, and they'll say, okay, in this second half, we've been able to start off strong, and well, we'll see the Yana featured again, WTG rocking the buck, and he's been having quite a good game alongside Shockwave. We haven't seen a lot of him, but he's been very impactful for his team so far. So I want to see his ability to hold the flanks extraordinarily well. Coastline's a map where you can flank really well if there's a top floor hold, for example. So we want to see him doing his job, and we'll see whether Vitality decides to do a top floor roam or if they extend out on a horizontal basis.
All right. Fabian now, no, actually Hungry now, no longer Fabian on that pulse. We'll be blocking off that door. Maybe to gain a little bit of an extra sound cue. Also, the blue bar to office door. So 2 of them will be barricaded. Only to, of course, slow down the likes of VP a little bit whilst gaining some extra information of where they're exactly coming from because of using those sound cues. There's not just going to be a crouch walk in. Actually have to shoot them open, as I believe there's a very heavy hold right here from the Sunrise bar coming out from the likes of Vitality. About 2-3 players located near the area. SWTG is able to move pretty far. Spots out a player here. That's a lot of damage done onto Rise. Just quickly put down with the CA. He is upping the pressure right here on the player into actual Sunrise. He cannot move much as he's kind of stuck right behind it. So Fabian managed to get some drones in, so denying the information. There's going to be Goga to get the early frag.
Well, now he has an idea that someone is playing behind Sunrise Bar. This is exactly the intel he needed to be able to get those kills, and this moving in swiftly is what VP has been doing so well. So if they want to get this kill, he needs to move in fast, but I hope he has a refrag with him. Instead of a refrag, it's a team kill, and Rask is going to have to clean up his mess here. Mission will take out Goga, and of course, this is going to be a back and forth, but VP start to clean up their mess. And now a 3v3 with over the half of the round to go. It's still a kitchen defense, ladies and gentlemen. So they don't have a lot of map control. They also don't have vertical control. So this is a very one-dimensional push. This might come down to 1v1s.
It could just as well come down to 1v1s, and I think that grenade got lost in the communication right there, as surely it must have been called that he was moving in there. And at the same time, a grenade was being tossed. We still have one man, though, on a potential flanking position, and that name is Bibu, sitting right here in security. He could have a key role. As soon as the execute of VP starts happening, he could be coming in from the back or from above even, as you see him rotate up now from those white stairs. It's going to be the platform and mission to go down. VP should be covering this quite well. There's no C4 left on the likes of Hungry, and as the aggressive peak is now going to be coming through, the diffuser has gone, and that means that as the Sunrise bar control is completely in the, well, like of VP, they should be able to hold off this defuse quite successfully. They need to go for the peaks now. They need to go for the actual challenges, because if they don't, they're not going to be able to get that defuse down. 2 of the air jumps there's popped. It's going to be Rast to be challenged. This Shockwave in the meantime, that will be picking up the first kill, turning it back to a 2-on-2 situation. And Rask is not going to be challenging any bit so far. Still has a grenade available to him. It's going to be another kill to come in from Shockwave. This defuse should be heard. And as the grenade pops in from Rask, it is the round for Virtus.pro. Perfectly played out, even though they had some trouble starting it off. As that grenade perfectly cooked. Just landed right on him right there. Finishing it off, winning the round.
Oh, the reason I gasped so hard was I was counting the amount of seconds that the diffuse was going off, and I thought if no one peeks him, he's got this. It's almost like a ninja diffuse. He needs to be careful. I had no idea that Rask was cooking, you know, a grenade all the way outside, perfectly angled. That's a really good throw. It's like BC-esque kind of grenade that we're seeing from him. And of course, I mean, he had a really poor first grenade. That wasn't his fault, though. I actually think that might have done a little bit more damage had his teammate not have taken a lot of that damage. But that's a round well played here by VP, and they're looking stronger on their attack than they did on their defense.
Yeah, they definitely do. And, well, we said they are a very frag-heavy team, but they haven't been able to show it yet. As they were shut down pretty much by their opponents. Of course, they managed to get 3 points in against Chaos, which are currently at the bottom part of the bracket, or standings. And right now, they're going up against Vitality, a team that is in the middle, you know, in the middle of the standings, but seems to be gaining some ground, especially after the last match. But now it's Virtus.pro that will bring them to a coastline. And I think this suits their playstyle really well, especially in the attack. Virtus.pro seem formidable in the way that they execute.
It's just so fast, Hap. Like, they get in, they're not afraid. Like, they know that shots are firing. Even if we saw WTG on the buck, he ran into blue bar. He knew there were lines of sight from lobby, but he still challenged it, and he still was very confident in doing so, even though he just bucked open the rotate between Sunrise and blue bar. So I thought that that was some really strong confidence from VP. I'm happy to see them look far more confident in these past Playdays than in the start of the EUL season. So good on Virtus.pro, getting out those sort of maybe nervous shakes of the start of the season, and they're really getting into their groove.
And they really should be able to get into their groove right here as WTG again putting some early pressure, taking full control here of the blue bar. Going to be opening up some verticals right now to make sure that this position right here, right behind the bar, is going to be unplayable. Spots a feet. Trying to open up just a bit more, but also knows it cannot fully extend himself in the blue bar, as someone could be playing on cool vibes and try and challenge him. Not sure if that actually opened up. The feet are definitely getting spotted right here by Goga. He also knows he has the SMG-11. If he wants to get the instant kill, he needs to be patient. He needs to make sure that the full burst will hit. With that, he needs to give, he needs some extra space. He needs the full lag to be exposed, not just the feet. And right here, WTG, able to go for the first one, will eventually land it. Goga a bit too impatient, and will try to go aggressive, and for that, gets punished.
That was a really good counter peek there from WTG. I know he'd opened up some of the holes himself, but of course to be able to peek up on a downward angle is always hard. And look at this, Vitality are kicking things off. One Elder kill and another Carbine kill. That's a great set of kills to get them started, but it's still a 4v3, still very possible for VP, but we wanted to see Vitality do something. Oh my god, this grenade, he's on such low health. It's going to actually air jab him into the grenade, but WTG will buck upwards and get the kill. That was so many different angles of which he had to watch out for, and now, oh, this is looking shaky for Vitality. A minute left, no barb on the stairs. I don't know if there's going to be a Legion mine. Yes, there is. He'll walk straight into it, gives away his position. Beautiful counter by Bibu. Now it's going to leave WTG and Shockwave. They need to find out where these players are. And in fact, WTG has both of his drones, so maybe this is the downfall of VP. They're not droning enough.
And it might not be droning enough, and you can be as fast as you possibly want to be. They don't know someone is still available in that bar, right behind it, to potentially go for a crossfire as soon as they want to go for the actual jump in. Flashbangs now being tossed in. It's going to be the jump in as well. Instantly be shut down by Rice, who's now only Shockwave alone, but tries to run into that Cool Vibes hallway right there. Will instantly be taken down by Hungry, as he was just waiting for him patiently. He sees the man sprinting in like there is no tomorrow, and he will give him no tomorrow.
Well done from Vitality to be able to, get a really good number count mid-round. That's probably a really important part of the round, ladies and gentlemen. If you're ever looking at a match and you go, well, what's the important part? I mean, the early round is good if you can get some early picks. It automatically means that the attackers or the defenders need to change their strategy. But when it gets to mid-round, that's where, the good part of the sandwich is. You kind of think of it as a sandwich, Hap. You think about the two pieces of bread, the execute at the bottom,
don't make me hungry
the
now.
entry at the top. I know what it's like, dude. That's why I'm thinking about sandwiches, because we're both hungry. That's what it is. But the mid-round is where all the crux, all the important stuff really happens. So for VP, that was not the sandwich they were looking for in their Vitality. They got exactly what they were after there. But VP still on top. Vitality need to change a few things. And I love that replay. Look at that. He gets air jabbed into where Rask was cooking the grenade, but also where WTG was bucking upwards. Like, how many things can happen to one man at once?
I think Fabian really got some some stress moments out of that one. He's like trying to rotate out, like rotating down, cool vibes, guys, and then instantly gets blasted back. Skeleton keyed up. Nothing left of the man right there. Gonna be leaving some question marks on the rest of his team. Like, what happened to going cool vibes, Fabian? But Virtus.pro is still leading with 1 round. Yes, they just lost the last one to Vitality, who managed to get their first defensive round in. Is just quickly putting up a new barricade there, just a fresh one, plus 5 points. That's all he does it for. Want to be on the MVP spot. You know, maybe Rice was getting a bit too close or hungry with the assists feeding up, so had to step it up a bit. But as we're waiting, it is gonna be Pasha wanting to enter quickly through hookah to drone himself in, though. It's Virtus.pro that you can see right here. They're eager to take early map control. The question is, where are they going to be taking it from?
Well, given they've got the buck, I'm hoping they take top 4 control. I mean, Kitchen's a really hard site to hold if you get that vertical control. So much soft breachability above the sides. Not so much in the service entrance part, but of course, you can buck on a diagonal basis over towards it. So if there's no reinforcements there, but Pasha, he'll turn on Fabian, and the self-professed greatest player in the world, well, he's showing that there's others who might want to take that title as well. And it was all up to that drone. So that was really well placed there by Pasha. He's a fragger. He's a droner. He's a flank holder. He can do it all.
Definitely can. W2G now able to pick up 1 and to rise as well. And there's only 146 left. Bibu now being tagged up slightly as well. But we see that the Ash is ready from Pasha to move in. Goes for a bit of a shoulder peek right there. We'll be able to catch Bibu off guard as he goes prone. No more mobility left. As soon as you do that one, you're basically screwed if you don't land your shots. It's all up to Goga now. We start to slow down again. There's 1 minute 20 on the clock. It's going to be Virtus.pro that will slowly take the control they need. And as they open up the door, suddenly there's a random smoke right behind it popping up on the grass. And it's just a kill to come in. I don't even think it was... No, it wasn't even intentional. My mission just opening up the door right there and finding the last player. It's going to be Virtus.pro right now to find a match point. And actually, not just 1, Jess, but actually 2.
Well, that's what you want, especially when you're on attack. I don't care what map it is. If you're on attack and you put it into match point and you're doing so well and so dominantly, you should be feeling good about yourself. I spoke about it earlier with Dez. If you do really well on your attacks, that's more impressive than a team that can do well on their defenses. Attack requires a lot of coordination. There's time constraints against you. There's a lot of utility to deal with. So I'm really impressed by VP at the moment. Of course, we'll see whether or not that can carry them into a match point. If they win, ladies and gentlemen, if they get the next round or even the round after, they'll get 3 points. But if Vitality can bring it back, which they have no choice, they must win the next 2 rounds if they want to bring it to a draw, because there's no overtime here. So Vitality are put on the hot burner here. They've got to put these rounds on the board.
And they got to give it them all right now if they want to be able to get the full 3 on the board. Otherwise, it's going to be Virtus.pro to walk away with that W. And, well, Vitality definitely don't want to make that happen. I'm going to get at least 1 point out of this one. Might not be what they've hoped for at the start of this day. But, well, if you're taking Virtus.pro to a frag-heavy map like Consulate or to Coastline, you know that they might be, well, going out of their minds. Even though the past is not always the case of that, but it definitely suits them better than right now to play a clubhouse in their current form. And they're definitely showing it here. The frags are so clean, the trades are there, and the grenades are on point.
I wanted to point out there, and we'll give it a little bit of a hush. We'll see if Rise gets this. He'll actually fall off it, so he won't get anything. But I wanted to point out, if our beautiful observer could go over to Sunrise entrance for me, where there's an electrified wall with bandits on it, and there's also 3 ADSs right next to Goga. Guess what? A Thatcher could get rid of that all in 1 EMP, and you can bring breaching charges on a Thatcher. Am I Thatcher's best friend? Maybe. Am I trying to promote his use? Absolutely. And there you go. I mean, there's no hard breacher on the side of VP. They 6-picked it out, but that's what we're talking about. You can get rid of that with 1 EMP. So come on, guys. Let's do it.
Also, thank you, Easy, for listening to Jets and quickly portraying.
Love you, Easy.
As Pasha, moving up to 90 here. Be droned in by Rask. You've talked about hot droning before, and that's definitely what VP is attempting to do right now. The drones are going in, spotting out on cool vibes now. They know there's a barbed wire there. Not sure if Pasha wants to use one of his breaching rounds on that. Nope, seems to be going for a flashbang to mask the sound of actually destroying that barbed wire, as well as blinding anybody that would maybe be near that would potentially go for a peek. But at least he opened up his own way right now. He made his own road to potentially cut into Sunrise later on. WTG right here on the pool table to avoid any C4 to be potentially thrown up on the floor. And with that, safeguard himself from that utility dump that Vitality might be able to use to try and get rid of him. Fabian, however, is in that blue bar, will be rotating into office. As you see right here, 3 people on the southern side of Vitality. It's Pasha to get the first one right from the kitchen. Now we'll be cutting through into Sunrise potentially, but he's still seeming to be worried about someone potentially coming up on the likes of Kitchen, and that's indeed the case. Tries to move through service, but will soon be moved in, and it's not going to get spotted out. Pasha somehow wins that gunfight. This shouldn't have happened. Gets the triple kill as well. Bibu goes down. It's Pasha that will be able to potentially get it here. Swaps over to the pistol, but does not know where Goga went or where Fabian went. I believe it's Fabian indeed. And as the trade comes through right there, it's only Goga left. He has the diffuser down. With 35 seconds left on the clock, surely is not enough time for him to keep on holding off on this. It's Virtus.pro to slowly strangle around, and flashbangs being tossed in. He will be forced to go outside, and that's the cleanup to come through. It's Virtus.pro to win it, with the final kill to come in from Rask. But a huge round right there from Pasha.
So impressed by VP. I was a little worried to start off with, but extraordinarily impressed with their tenacity, the way, their movement, their confidence. That is a win well deserved. Sometimes we talk about matches that we go, well, that could have gone either way. That was a dominant matchup from VP. They very much deserve that. And if you ever want to look at world-class attacking rounds and how you would do it, go through the attacking rounds from VP. They're extraordinary.
Extraordinary well played indeed, and Vitality not able to get a proper answer on these attacks from Virtus.pro. There's sure a lot to talk about right here, so let's just quickly kick it over to our boys and girls on the analyst desk.
Nice save, Hap. I saw what you did there.